All right, today we're diving into something that could seriously change the way we, as React developers, think about building apps. It's called Tambo AI. The big promise here is to help us create applications that don't just sit there waiting for users, but actually adapt to them in real time. So let's unpack what that really means.
This quote from the Tambo team just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? We've all felt this, both as developers and as users. You build this really powerful, feature-rich app, but at the end of the day, it's pretty rigid. A user has to click through 5 menus just to find the one piece of data they need. The app makes them learn its language, not the other way around.
So what's the alternative? What if we could flip that script? Imagine, instead of hunting and pecking through menus, a user could just say what they want to do, and the interface would literally assemble itself right on the fly to help them do it. That's the radical idea we're digging into today. To really appreciate this shift, let's just quickly talk about the limits of that one-size-fits-all world we've been living in. It's the whole reason a tool like Tambo needs to exist in the first place.
And here is the core problem. A user's looking at some data and thinks, I really need to see this as a pie chart. But if you, the developer, only built a bar chart component, well, they're just out of luck. There's this massive gap between what the user intends to do and what the software allows them to do. And that gap, well, it's just plain frustrating.
So how do we close that gap? This brings us to the star of the show, Tambo AI. It's a toolkit built from the ground up to let developers like us finally build these dynamic, truly adaptive user interfaces.
At the heart of all this is a really powerful concept called generative UI. Now, this isn't just about showing or hiding a component. No, we're talking about an AI agent that actually listens to the user and then builds the interface from scratch, component by component, to match exactly what they ask for. The UI is literally being generated from the user's intent.
And this is where it gets so clever. You're not just handing over the keys to some black box AI. Instead, you're teaching the AI a language. And guess what that language is? It's your very own library of React components. The AI learns what each component does, and then it uses them as building blocks to put together a UI, just like a person would.
And make no mistake, Tambo is way more than just a front-end SDK. It's the whole shebang. It comes with the AI agent built in. You just bring your own API key. It handles all the complex streaming in the background, and it gives you the choice to either use their managed cloud service or host everything yourself.
Okay, the concept is awesome, but how does this all actually work under the hood? Let's break down the mechanics. You'll see it's surprisingly straightforward. It all boils down to a simple 3-step dance. First, you tell Tambo about your React components, and you define the data they need using Zod schemas. A schema is basically a contract. It tells the AI exactly what kind of props your component needs to work, like this needs a title string or this needs an array of numbers. This is how the AI learns to speak your component's language. Step 2, the AI agent looks at the user's request and says, aha, I know the perfect component for that. And finally, Tambo streams the perfectly formatted props to that component, and poof, it renders on the screen.
Now, this is a really important distinction Tambo makes. There are 2 kinds of components. You have generative components, which are kind of like one-and-done deals, perfect for showing a chart or a quick summary in a chat. But then you have interactable components, and this is where the real magic happens. These things are stateful. They persist. They can be updated. We're talking about things like a Trello board, a shopping cart, or even a spreadsheet that the user can build and change through a conversation. This is what lets you build real, living apps.
Okay, so you might be thinking, where does Tambo fit in with other tools I'm already using? Like the Vercel AI SDK or Copilot Kit? It's a great question because it's super important to understand its unique spot in this fast-moving AI world.
This table really says it all. Just look at that first row, component selection. With other tools, you often have to manually map an intent to a component. But with Tambo, the AI decides. That is a genuine game changer. And then look at the second row. That native support for persistent stateful components is what makes it uniquely suited for building these deeply interactive, AI-driven applications, not just little chat widgets.
All right, we've covered the what, the why, and the how. Now let's get to the most exciting part, how you can actually get your hands dirty and start playing with this yourself.
The team has made getting started incredibly easy. Seriously, all it takes is running one single command in your terminal, npm create Tambo app. That scaffolds a whole new project for you. You can go from 0 to a running generative UI app in like 5 minutes.
And remember, you've got flexibility for when you're ready to deploy. You can get started for free on the Tambo cloud, and they'll handle all the back-end stuff for you. Or, if you need total control and you're ready for production, you can just self-host the whole stack with Docker. It's built to fit whatever your project needs.
So when you put it all together, Tambo AI really feels like more than just a new tool. It's a whole new way to think about user interaction. It lets us build interfaces that can listen, understand, and adapt. And that leaves us with one really powerful question. If your applications could truly understand your users' goals, what kind of agent would you build?